Good evening, I'm Jim Lara. On the NewsHour tonight, the news of this Wednesday, then two economic stories, differing views of what needs to be in a stimulus package, and the China angle on the global financial turmoil, as reported by James Fallows of The Atlantic magazine. Plus two health stories, making nursing homes feel more like home, and the latest on anti-cholesterol drugs. And now two health stories. The first is about a way to build better nursing homes. Susan Dentzer has our health unit report.
Dr. Bill Thomas was already one of the nation's most outspoken nursing home reformers when we first interviewed him 6 years ago.
What you're seeing right now is the end of the American nursing home. It is finished. And the big question that really ought to be on the lips of the politicians and the leaders and the academics is, what comes next?
At that time, Thomas had started down the road to the next phase with something called the Eden Alternative. The approach revamped the nursing home in various ways, most visibly with plenty of green plants and even animals. What Thomas came up with next was what he called greenhouses, small home-like settings where care for elders, rather than the demands of the institution, came first.
This house really, for me, is a dream come true.
Today, that vision is a reality here at this greenhouse in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's operated by Tabitha Health Services, a Lutheran-affiliated nonprofit focused on long-term care.
Hi, I'm Dr. Thomas.
When Thomas visited for the first time recently, he talked with Eva Goldsby, one of 9 residents here. She told him that the greenhouse feels much more like home than Tabitha's other traditional nursing home.
Yes, this is a lovely place to be at.
Why is it different than the big house?
Well, it's just like being at home.
At times, in fact, the greenhouse seems more like a clubhouse for seniors than a skilled long-term care facility. 2 afternoons a week, for instance, there's happy hour.
What do you like to have at happy hour?
Beer, usually.
Beer? Yeah, I think I'll join you.
Yeah, red beer sometimes.
Oh, red beer?
Yeah, you like that?
I've never tried it.
Oh, just tomato juice and beer.
Oh, whoa!
There are now 35 greenhouses up and running on 13 campuses across the country. In partnership with a nonprofit, NCB Capital Impact, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation is spending nearly $10 million to replicate the model nationwide. The foundation also funds the NewsHour's health unit. It's cold here in Nebraska, and the ground's covered with snow, so you can't really tell why this is called a greenhouse. The name is meant to invoke sunlight, plants, access to outdoor spaces, the opposite of the feeling you get inside the conventional nursing home.
And I was smiling, I was happy, and I opened my eyes kind of fast and thought, what in the world was that?
Ed Meyer says she now realizes she was frustrated by the regimented feel of even a well-run nursing home, with its centralized food preparation and dining, certified nursing assistants bustling around to meet the needs of seniors, and residents themselves doubled up in frequently sterile rooms. So some 6 years, countless discussions with state regulators, and more than $1 million later, the result was the greenhouse. It can accommodate up to 12 elders, as the residents are called, in spacious private rooms with their own baths. Still, the real innovations of the greenhouses aren't high-tech, but low-tech, Thomas says.
We wanted there to be a heart, a center, a focus of the house. So, you know, you have what you have in the hearth is a sort of food on one end, fire on the other, and a place to share convivium, or the pleasure of a good meal sort of in the middle. And this house really does that.
Even the common dining table is a critical part of the mix.
We've always insisted in the greenhouse that there be one big table, because that makes a meal into a community experience where food and companionship come together.
The best argument for the model may be that it appears to produce real results. A study of the first group of greenhouses, built in Tupelo, Mississippi, showed that residents got equal or better quality of care than they did in comparable nursing homes. They also reported a higher quality of life. Both staff and family members of those living in greenhouses said they, too, were more satisfied. There is, it turns out, one downside to this model. Ed Meyer and the Shabazim tell the story of one former greenhouse elder, Mary Valentine, who celebrated her 101st birthday in the greenhouse.
One of the Shabazim went to her and said, "Well, Mary, what do you want to do? What shall we do so that you have a great birthday?" And she looked at the Shabazz and she said, "You know, what I really want is a margarita and a cigarette."
And that's what she got, as seen in this picture, taken as she and her daughter celebrated on the greenhouse's front porch. When Valentine died soon after that memorable day, the Shabazim were crushed.
Death gets harder in a greenhouse because when you are smaller and when you are engaged in the way that the Shabazim are engaged in the lives of the elders they love so much, it is like losing your dearest family member.
All this reminded us of something else Thomas had said back in 2001 about the central problem with nursing homes.
In long-term care, love matters. And the heart of the problem is institutions can't love.
Do you think you finally helped to create a place that can love?
Yes. In fact, I think it's the signal achievement of the greenhouse, making a place where love matters.
Here in Lincoln at Tabitha, there are now plans to have 3 more greenhouses up and running within the next 5 years. About 100 more are under development across the country.